Like, ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. You know, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything. No, it really has been a tough first year for you, Mr. President. Gas is up, gas is up, gas is up, everything. Rent is up, everything, everything, everything. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
Talk about a crazy day. We've got wild stories plus your questions. So let's get started.
Screw your freedom.
Well, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel and our first ever inaugural Q&A here on Subscribestar. If you are not a member of Subscribestar, if you used to be a member, premium member at Patreon, Patreon's no more. You have to go to subscribestar.com, and Jolene will pop that address right up here in a moment. Subscribestar.com, the Prepared Mind, right? Anyways, folks, we've got a show. You know the routine. I'm going to do 30 minutes of my monologue, and then we're going to get to the Q&A, the live question and answer that premium members get. And if you were a member at YouTube, you can go ahead and just cancel that and come right to this address right down here. Subscribestar, the Prepared Mind, and for $2 a month, you can be here. Well, I mean, you can donate 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. I don't care. But every dollar we collect, folks, helps make this show happen. You guys have been the most generous prepper crowd I've ever seen or heard of, and we love every minute of it because we get to come here and use free speech, right, to get the point across. You need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense. You need a plan. And you need to prep to action. You need to write, call, smoke signal, carrier pigeon, text, fax, whatever it takes to get a hold of your representatives in Washington, D.C., in the House of Representatives, in the Senate. You need to do that at the state level. You need to get active in the grassroots, local political civics. You need to get involved in the, shall we say, election day efforts to make sure that voting is done legally, lawfully. All right, we need to be involved from now on, folks. No longer is it that's someone else's job. Someone else will take care of that. We've seen how they take care of their jobs, folks, and we've seen the results of their efforts. Now, I don't blame ourselves, but from here on out, folks, if we don't take action, we can only blame ourselves. Well, we can blame them for committing the crimes, and then we blame ourselves for not being there to stop it. The police do not monitor elections, folks. We, the people, monitor our elections. So, speaking of an elected official, Pelosi, 90 Proof Nancy today was asked about pro-life centers, buildings, physicians, psychologists, psychiatrists, care workers being firebombed. Here's her quote on what she thinks of those fire bombings. Quote, "I'm a very Catholic person." And she, folks, believes in a woman's right to choose. So upon arrival, this is how she was greeted, Nancy Pelosi. "We appreciate your opinion, Mrs. Pelosi. Welcome to hell. Please take a seat here next to Margaret Sanger and the angry, ugly table, folks." Wow. Yeah, folks, she's got a nice seat there. The last time very Catholic persons believed in firebombing, there was this thing called the Inquisition, right? And if you were a very bad person in their book, well, yeah, they'd burn you alive. Wow, folks, the brutality of, shall we say, fundamental violent people is to burn, loot, murder. Those are the lowest IQ level people because that's how they take care of their problems. It's good to see we've got a nice crowd started here at Subscribe Star. Now, Jolene has sent emails out, and she'll probably send another email out tonight and one tomorrow just to make sure all the old subscribers get the invitation. But you go to Subscribe Star / right, the prepared mind to get started, to get back on track where we have premium, uncensored content. And here we go, folks. Let's dig into it, right? Let's dig into it. Supreme Court Justice Judge Kavanaugh. Well, their neighbors are not happy now because the protesters are threatening them, saying, F you and F your children, right? Let's sing along, shall we? Fuck you, fuck your children. We scum want to fuck everyone we can, right? Regardless of age or gender, because we are socialist, Democrat, Utes. Folks, violence is like a cancer, and it's running rampant in these people, right? It's spread like this, right? It spreads from schools to universities. Then it metastasizes just like cancer within the criminal and idiot communities. And then they show up like this. It is a cancer, folks, and it is metastasizing. It is spreading, and it is dangerous. It really is, folks. Liberalism is very, very dangerous. I mean, here's another prime example. Prime example. Democrats, quote, would rather Tesla was dead than be alive and non-unionized. Now, by Tesla, we're not talking about Nikola Tesla, the inventor of alternating current, the technology we use in everyday life, from refrigerators to microwaves to water heaters, well, to electric vehicles, right? Now, number one, folks, the Democrats don't like Elon Musk anymore. They don't want to see him alive anymore. And no, I will not quit my day job. Right now, there's a couple things about these comments. Tesla is non-unionized. It sounds like unionizing Tesla is what the Democrats want. And guess what else that would do? It would make costs go higher because unions do that to the cost of all goods. So a $70,000 Model Y, and when I see them, I always ask, why does it have to look like that? Anyways, a $70,000 Model Y would become a $100,000 Model Y. And people that buy them at 100 would go, why me? Why couldn't I have got one of the cheaper ones? Anyways, it's for, well, reduced productivity because of the labor unions. It would be because the labor unions get more benefits. And the labor unions cause pensions to go way, way, way higher. Or if we don't have these higher costs, they want to unionize. Musk may move all operations to a foreign nation, and Americans get jack shit for good jobs because they'll no longer exist. Hasn't America exported enough of our productive capacity to make big labor happy? Unbelievable, folks. That's what happens every single time they do it, folks, because corporations are allowed to leave this country and take the profit with them. What do we want, folks? Union jobs or no jobs? Well, if you do union jobs, a lot of the times we end up with no jobs. How about we just have jobs here? Unbelievable where these people are going. Now, I got another big one. Another biggie, folks. Yes, I can't believe it's not butter. Anyways, it's not butter, it's oil, right? Big oil. Exxon and Chevron, they are swinging back at the Biden administration, saying they're putting up obstacles to energy delivery. And what is energy? Oil, gas, diesel, natural gas, energy, right? The other side of that equation is green renewable energy, which is nuclear, solar, wind. Let's see, we're doing more wind and solar, but no nuclear. Oh, anyways, back to big oil. I worked in the oil industry, folks, and I know a little bit about it, right? And how cutthroat it is also. I never thought I would be defending those greedy bastards. But compared to Biden and his Green New Deal commies, big oil makes a rock solid defense against the slanders from the slanderer in chief. I love that one instead of commander in chief. How about the slanderer in chief? Guy's a moron. Anyways, here's what big oil has said. And just think about what they're saying. Quote, we have been in regular contact with the administration to update the president and his staff on how ExxonMobil has been investing more than any other company to develop U.S. oil and gas supplies. This includes investments in the U.S. of more than $50 billion over the past 5 years, resulting in an almost 50% increase in our U.S. production of oil during this period. Globally, we've invested double what we've earned over the past 5 years, $118 billion on new oil and gas supplies compared to net income of $55 billion. This is a reflection of the company's long-term growth strategy and our commitment to continuously invest in society's demand for our products. Specific to refining capacity in the U.S., we've been investing through the downturn to increase refining capacity to process U.S. light crude by about 250,000 barrels per day, the equivalent of adding a new medium-sized refinery. We kept investing even during the pandemic when we lost more than $20 billion and had to borrow more than $30 billion to maintain investment to increase capacity to be ready for post-pandemic demand. In the short term, the U.S. government could enact measures often used in emergencies following hurricanes and other supply disruptions, such as waivers of the Jones Act provisions and some fuel specifications to increase supplies. Longer term, government can promote investment through clear and consistent policy that supports U.S. resource development, as well as streamline regulatory approval and support for infrastructure such as pipelines. ExxonMobil, you guys are idiots. No, actually, you're not. What you're doing is you're suggesting a solution to the problem. You've laid out what you've done, and all you've done, though, is show exactly how corrupt and stupid the Biden and Democrat administration and programs are. You want the support for infrastructure and pipelines? Biden killed that. Biden killed that. You invested money in production. Biden is denying permits for exploration, drilling, and production. In the short and long term, folks, all we've heard is that Biden wants to kill the oil industry. It's not, folks. He wants to blame oil companies. He wants to blame Putin. Right? He wants to blame Russia. They're blaming everyone while they, Biden, the Democrats, the globalists, their investment banker buddies, they want to blame everyone else while he intentionally destroys the industry, folks. I mean, let me give you this, right? The White House spokesperson, Jean-Pierre, the little girl today, confirmed that Biden is moving forward with plans to end fossil fuel. He wants to punish it. Literally, folks, we will never be 100% rid of oil. We can't. It is where plastics come from. It is where pharmaceutical ingredients come from. Also, unless we start making all highways 12 inches of solid concrete thick, we need asphaltic products, which are a direct result. They come from the direct production of fuels, because in the refinery process, it strips away the diesel and the gasoline from the asphaltic products, right? Asphalt even looks like nasty carbon bubbly, doesn't it? Right? And what makes this even stupider than the way we are expected to buy electric vehicles that can't be produced because the raw materials needing to be refined in mass quantities to meet the demand of electric vehicles, they haven't been discovered, folks, in the exploration process, much less mined and refined in the quantities needed. But the electrical infrastructure, from producing the needed electricity to transmitting it to every city to installing the non-existent charging stations, has not been planned, much less begun. And the estimate, folks, is it will take 20 years to get 50% of it completed. And that's if it was started today. So how does that sound for taking a wild guess at the problem with a-hole Biden's agenda? The old, dusty, smelly fart will be long dead before everyone gets done cussing at him. That is, folks, SHTF. That's where we're at. That's what is happening. Unbelievable. And I want to say again, I want to thank all of you for coming here to subscribestar.com to see The Prepared Mind. This is our inaugural Q&A and monologue session. We got started. Folks, we got rid of Patreon and blew them off, right? They want to hurt us, we'll hurt them and just walk away, right? They killed our channel. We won't support them. Screw them. We go where free speech is at, and we want you with us, and we're going to continue to do more to make free speech more accessible so that you can ask the questions you want and we can talk about the topics we want. And we want to make it accessible far and wide through Subscribestar, the preparedmind.club, and an app. And those things are coming, folks. Right now we're on subscribestar.com. And I love it. I love being back. So we can have our premium discussions. Our premiums, folks, are small, right? At minimum, $2, right? 7 cents a day. And you get to come here and ask questions live, hang out, enjoy the comment section. It looks like that is going very well. From my end, folks, I operate through a remote studio here in the bunker, sometimes in Studio A or Studio B. And I see all the great names I'm used to seeing. Tennessee Hillbilly, Bonnie Blue, Cathy LeMaster, Yankee Watchdog. I see a lot of the gang there, along with old Mr. Blue Wrench Man himself. Yes, indeed. The gang's all here. And Oregon Patriot. Folks, I love it. Let's give them hell. I don't plan on backing off. I don't plan on giving up. And there's another one who is not giving up. That would be Dr. Doom, the little douche himself, right? The little man, Fauci, right? So I say attack that little liar. And Rand Paul, Dr. Rand Paul, went after the Cerveza-infected Fauci for promoting juice boosters for children without any supporting scientific evidence, folks. Yep, Senator Dr. Rand Paul said, quote, "That's not science, that's conjecture," in response to the testimony of the little liar in chief. We have some incredible crap coming, folks. Absolutely off the hook, stupid. It is SHTF. That means, folks, food inflation, food shortages. SHTF means water issues. Do you have your water? Water filtration, water purification, sanitation. Do you have that down? Do you have access to water? The ability to get it, to store it, right? The preparedmind.club, folks. Oh, and there's a lot more. You're going to have to protect yourself. SHTF. Who's going to protect you? Right? Well, in Los Angeles, right? In Los Angeles, I believe 2 policemen have been killed as a result of, yes, the district attorney, the government not prosecuting scum. Scum turns around and kills cops. So at this moment, while talking SHTF, I want to remind cops, you've got 2 people. You've got the people that pay your bills, who you actually work for, the patriots, the taxpayers, the law-abiding citizens, and then you've got the government and criminals on the other side. You can't serve both. They both can't be your masters. You've got to make a choice. Do you choose law and order decency and morality, the U.S. Constitution with its amendments, the First and Second Amendment? And will you support the entire Constitution and the restrictions it puts on you as a police officer? Or do you want to support government that trashes the people and empowers criminals who turn around, and as criminals, they have a lot less compunction to shooting you than a good law-abiding citizen who is armed and wants law and order and justice served? Police, inner city police who support Democrats, are you sure that's best for you and your families? Are you sure? Right? I don't hear about law-abiding citizens going out and shooting cops and saying all cops are bastards and wanting to beat you guys and throw rocks, ice, bottles, lasers, fireworks, explosives. No, you don't see that. You see that from leftists. Who do you want to stand with? Right? You can't have it both ways. You've got to make a choice. Right? Second Amendment, folks. The Second Amendment. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Even the dumbest amongst us, they can understand that, right? It's not hard. It's easy math. Shall not be infringed. We had some crazy days coming, folks. And Joe Biden, as the political leader, as the elected leader, he has made his bed and now he's lying in it and crapping in it. The Biden administration is trying to cut off Lake City. If you don't know what Lake City is, they produce ammunition for the military. It's trying to cut off 5.56, 7.62 ammo and cut it out of the commercial market, right? This is a thetruthaboutguns.com moment, folks. Once again, folks, Democrats hate you and hate the Second Amendment. And oh yeah, Democrats hate cops too. What side are you on, cops? I know most sheriffs are 100% Constitution, right? What about inner city police, right? How do you like me now as a patriot? Or do you like and support disarming us and then having yourself shot, beaten, stabbed, stalked, hunted by criminals? Anyways, Democrats hate you, Americans. They hate patriots. They hate the Second Amendment. They hate the entire Constitution, folks, because it's a defense of the people in creating a protective republic. And the Constitution acts as a barrier to dictatorship and socialism. Isn't that great? That's what it's doing, folks, right now as you and I speak. And it's not just the federal or U.S. Constitution. Every state has its own Constitution that mirrors the one in D.C. And they have their own First and Second Amendments that protect our speech and protect our rights to self-defense. We have layers of protection just as they have layers of jurisdiction, right? But back to this thing about Lake City. I have shot an awful lot of Lake City ammunition, folks, right? Military ammunition. Once again, folks, buying ammo is going to get even more difficult and even more expensive. And that makes ammunition, which is brass, lead, copper, and some petrochemicals. It becomes even more precious as a metal. Ammunition's a precious metal, folks. And it becomes even more important to defend our Second Amendment from Democrats and rhino Republicans. So get all the ammo you can. It is going to become far more valuable and precious. Just like food that's gone up 100%. For many people, some people it's only gone up 50%, as if that's a frickin' bonus, right? Everything you buy as a prepper goes up, up, up in value. If you have gold and silver, you have protection. If you have ammunition, you have protection. If you have food, you have protection. It's all insurance, folks. Take action. It is time to take action. And I'm going to tell you, for those who said, John, you're not doing enough action, take action. Don't wait for me. I can go stand in the street and scream all day long and get a crowd going around me. That doesn't help America. We all individually need to do that, folks. Talk to your neighbors, form communities, say things ain't looking good. If things get nasty, what are we going to do to protect ourselves from people who come in here with nothing but hate and nothing on their mind but harming others? Burn, loot, and murder. Right? They want to protest through neighborhoods and scream and yell at people. Threaten people the way they're threatening Supreme Court justices and judges. No, folks. It's time to take action. Form protective community organization. Start now. Be legal. Prep to action. That's the message, folks. It doesn't matter whether we do it on YouTube. It doesn't matter whether we do it on Subscribestar. It doesn't matter if you're seeing this on what are the other ones? BitChute or Rumble, right? Wherever you're seeing this at, right here, subscribestar.com, the-prepared-mind. That's where you go to support our efforts, as well as in the comments down below. We've got the Subscribestar address again, and we also have PayPal and CashApp for making cash donations to the GTFB and SB Fund. Quick reminder, get your questions into Jolene in the comment section. There's also a way to communicate with us on subscribestar.com, direct at the Prepared Mind. That's right, you can send us direct messages, and we don't not sitting around all day waiting for them, but we do check them. I can check them, Jolene can check them, and we do the very best we can, folks. We have very limited resources, but we're here for you, and we don't quit. We don't quit. Jolene and I knew this day was coming. Right? We talked about it with Uman. The day is coming. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going, shall we? I never run out of SHTF discussion, folks. Never. Know why? Because they're never done. They're never done trying to screw up this country and destroy our Constitution. Never. No. This is beautiful news. Just in, the creepy lawyer, the creepy porn lawyer. I loved it. I think it was Tucker Carlson called him the creepy porn lawyer. Michael Avenatti, who screwed over the porn star, and not in the way she's used to. Stormy Daniels screwed her over. Michael Avenatti, the creepy porn lawyer, has been found guilty of fraud and tax charges, right? What a turd. That guy is just special. That's special. Oh, and by the way, Dr. Fauci and his little problem he had with Senator Rand Paul. Yeah, don't forget that Dr. Anthony Fauci has contracted. He's infected with cerveza bug. So did he get the Jim Jones juice? Did he get all the boosters he could? Or did he not? And he lied and he caught it. Little Dr. Frodsky, is he now being infected with the disease that was created in a lab somewhere? Or did this come out of bat soup? Right? When we said that these creeps and cretins are not immune, we meant that in more than just medical terms. They're not immune, folks, to justice, poetic justice, or mob justice. There's going to come a time, folks, when a lot of these people, whether they're a big business or ancient aristocrats or the newly minted, shall we say, gods and priests of science, many of them are going to find an end. And one of the last things they're going to see, folks, is maybe a guillotine. Maybe they're just going to be planted on their knees in a ditch. Maybe there's going to be a chunk of rope. I don't know. And I'm not suggesting any violence be taken. I'm saying this is where this leads. Tyranny always leads to death for me and you, the people. Unless me and you and the people get to the bad guys first. That's what it's going to be a race for, folks. Do we let them come and get us? Or does someone out there miraculously get them first? Step right up. Let's see what the hell happens next. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable, right? And I want a quick reminder on energy because it's hurting us all. Don't forget, that, well, I just read about oil companies and some of the money they spent trying to stay open and increase production and capacity and get some pipelines and infrastructure. They're doing what they can. Prices were very low, freaking low before Biden. We had a lot of oil production capacity, low cost. We got Biden, who instantly started running it up. Unstinking freaking believable. Oil companies have been trying, and I'm no lover of the oil companies because I know there's lots of scams on their side, but look what we have now. Activists, Democrat activists, are suing to block 3,500 oil and gas permits. We get to pay, folks, to satisfy these radical religious nutcases. Unbelievable. I do need to, folks. I do need to get to your questions. And I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Are you ready?
Well, what do you know, folks? I'm out of Belizean rum, but the captain's in the house. Woo! I got me a big old bottle of the captain, folks, because at the end of a hard day, we all need to just relax. Make sure you've got plenty of high quality alcohol for SHTF because, well, just because. You know the reasons why. Let's do this. Let's get to your questions and comments. As promised, we've got Uman. He says, everything will soon be fixed. Wait a minute, man. Are you shitting me? All right. He says, I heard that Governor BJ Prickster may be throwing in his hat into the presidential ring in 2024. Some people are saying fat chance, but I don't think he's biting off more than he can chew, and the man has chewed a lot. Just look what he's done to Illinois. That's right, folks. Illinois, one of my most difficult to pronounce states. I don't care if I get it wrong because it's Illinois. We get an awful lot of noise coming out of there between BJ Prickster and Larry Beetlejuice Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago, who has made sure that it remains the murder capital of the United States of America. And folks, by the way, it's not all gun murders there. It's not all gun murders. They got baseball bat murders and knife murders and drug murders and they got all the strangulations. They got all the best kind of murders in Chicago. Don't think that they're a one hat wonder. No. They got many hats. A lot of different ways to kill someone, man. And Chicago really makes sure that the criminals are taken care of well so they can continue to do their job. Everyone needs a job, folks. Okay, this is the inaugural Q&A on subscribestar.com. So we're going to start with Oregon Patriot. It says, as you might recall, John, about 6 months ago, I asked you how long you thought it would take before actual civil war started. Care to readdress that? Well, I'll tell you what. Civil war, I think, is going to start when there is an attempt to confiscate firearms. I believe the shots heard around the world, right? The Lexington and Concord moments came when regular civilians, not the Continental Congress or the Continental Army or the Continental anything. It was the people. The people in a town said, to the Redcoats, and they faced them in Lexington and Concord. And don't think that it wasn't about gun confiscation. The people of Lexington and the people of Concord had been abused with gun confiscation, wealth confiscation, having to put soldiers in their homes, being convicted of after being falsely accused of crimes and having sham trials. How about daughters and wives taken? Folks, the Redcoats were a bunch of bastards. Why? I'll tell you why. Because they thought they were above the law. They thought they were the law. They thought they could write the law as they went. And they just did whatever the hell they wanted. And the king didn't give a shit because all he cared about was his taxes. And the scared people obeyed. And finally, the people had enough. And when the government, AKA at that time, the redcoats, decided, well, it's time to disarm the American colonists, they said, hey, we got a right to defend ourselves. We've got a right to defend our state. And they started acting as such at the small community level, Lexington and Concord. Small community said, that's enough of this shit. And they stopped, right? They had a conflict. People on both sides died. I think that's when it starts. Who right now is pushing for it more than ever? Now, I don't think that in Polk County, Florida, over that way. No, wait, it's over that way. I don't think in Polk County, Florida, that Sheriff Grady Judd is going to do anything like go collect firearms from citizens. It's going to be in a big city. It's going to be a city like Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. It's going to be in a city like Dallas, maybe Houston. It's going to be in a city quite possibly like Sacramento, California, where the people are going to say, hey, I don't care how many of you think you are, you're not going to screw me over. Right? It could be in a city like Reno, Nevada, or maybe Las Vegas, Nevada. It could be in a small city like Kenosha, Wisconsin. It could be Lansing, Michigan, where the people say, enough of this shit. And no, you can't have my gun. And some police department somewhere, all amped up on I can own your ass, is going to make a mistake. And they're going to say, well, the government officials decided. Folks, the government officials are only there because the Constitution, which is the law of the land, based on our inalienable rights, which we, the people, are the sovereigns, our rights don't cease to exist because some eggheads, elected or appointed, write some law, rule, ordinance, or regulation. Inalienable means inalienable. But at some point, I think that's when it starts. Hey, baby food shortage. The plant got shut back down, the big plant. Maybe we need some redundancy. Maybe we need more than 1 or 2 baby food plants, right? Baby food won't cause the revolution, or rather a civil war, or, if you will, a partisan conflict. No. Roe v. Wade getting turned over, I don't think that will cause partisan conflict, civil war. It's going to piss a lot of people off. There will be violence, and it will be committed by leftists. Trust me on that. And people will defend themselves. It's not going to be over fuel. It won't be over food. People will riot, protest, get mad, throw fits, and commit acts of violence over those things. But our civil war, it's going to be about guns. That's my prediction. Now, I don't know, and I don't recall what I said last time, but SHTF, it's here to stay, and they're pushing. It could, let me say this, it could start if they say mandatory Jim Jones juice, right? This is one pointer, and this is the other poker. If they got a pointer and a poker and they come at people, that's definitely going to cause a response. That's my number 2 pick for civil war. Someone thinking they have the right to tell someone else what they have to put in their body. And when it's deadly, folks, and trust me, this shit is deadly, we're going to have problems. All right, let's move on if we shall. Here we are. Oh, my God. Hallelujah. It is Penelope Binkley checking in on subscribestar.com. I'm glad you made it over here, Penelope. She's been a long time friend of the show, supporter, behind the scenes encourager of the John. It's great to see you here, Penelope. She says, since I'm here live today, I do have a statement. Have we considered what they are doing to dispose of the expired and spoiled Jim Jones juice? Do they just pour it down the drain, deposit it in a landfill, incinerate it? I tell you, I want to make this connection, right? The movie Prometheus, which is a science fiction work along the line of Alien, where they try and describe how these things come about, these alien creatures. Well, they do it with a concoction that just strips DNA and rewrites it, right? That's how the movie Prometheus started, with one of these engineers, medical engineers, right, putting this crap in his body, and it just shatters him and tears him apart and then starts rebuilding something else. That's how I imagine this shit going to work in me, just tearing my system apart and creating other crap. And folks, they pull blood clots out of people and they look at it under a microscope, and it is a bunch of clotty, fibrous garbage. Looks like it has, in some cases, nanowires in it and other junk. The human body, no animal produces this effect inside themselves because it causes death. It causes destruction of the organism. Why would I put something in my body that does or even has the possibility of causing clots? Blood is supposed to flow through the body, carrying nutrients and oxygen. It's not supposed to have clot-inducing shit getting stuck in our brains, causing what? Aneurysms and strokes, causing muscle to die off, organs to get weak and not perform well. What the frick is wrong with these people? So yeah, are they pouring this alien crap down the drain? I sure hope not, because I don't want fish or frogs or anything in the seas and oceans and rivers to get any of this crap anywhere near them. I don't want it evaporating into the air at a settling pond and then raining down on us, this shit. And I know it's not billions of gallons, it's little vials, right? Do they just throw it in landfills? I mean, in 100 years, is some giant monstrous freaking thing going to grow out of a landfill? I don't know. And if they burn it, that's probably the best way I can think of dealing with this shit, rather than, except for the last and final one, putting it on a rocket and shooting it into the sun. That just might incinerate that shit. But yeah, I would think you would want to do that. Just absolutely destroy it. Folks, anything that can rewrite your DNA requires that it is RNA, DNA, and it's living and has a program to go and conduct this intracellular activity. That is scary as hell. Unfreaking believable. And can it be activated with 5G or 4 or 3G for that matter? Can it be activated with a signal that's non-detectable? Activated in such a way that it makes things even worse than it already is? I don't know, and I don't want to find out with it in me. Thank you, Penelope, for being a great supplier. One of Johnny's original angels. Thank you for checking in. Moving along, we got another great supporter of the channel. I'm glad you're here. Bonnie Blue checks in. Bonnie Blue 2A, that is. And there's a statement. Dr. Naomi Wolf, who, by the way, is not allowed to talk. No free speech for Dr. Naomi Wolf, revealed that lactating mothers who received the Jim Jones juice have decreased milk output. The percentage, folks, of nursing mothers post-juice dropped from 34% to only 14%. So it's incredible to me that only 1/3 of mothers breastfeed their babies. And now it's down to, looks like 1 in 7. And from that 34% to 14%, that is more than a 50% drop from the already low number. Unbelievable, folks. Then the other numbers out there that aren't being discussed, stillborn babies. lost babies, inability to make babies, reproductive harm, in other words, reproductive harm. Unbelievable what is happening. It is unbelievable. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. I sure hope yours is. These people make me sick. That little ratty turd, that know-it-all expert, the guy who says, I'm science, that little freak who is now infected. Oh, he's responsible, folks. He's responsible. Okay, let us move on if we shall. We got Cathy LeMaster checking in. I like this. So I have a question. Lake Mead, which is 183 feet low, just north of Lake Havasu, is currently only 1.77 feet low. Both feed from the Colorado, but a tourist-driven destination only because of the lake. Now, this is interesting, right? Oh, well, she goes on and she does ask the question. How is it that Mead is so low and Arizona is running out of water, but the tourist areas are practically full? Well, because they control the water flow, don't they? They control the water flow. So what's the other name? We got Lake Mead, and then we've got, there we go, Lake Havasu. Lake Havasu is kind of a party, fun lake. But I think Lake Mead or the reservoir there, isn't that what feeds the power production at Hoover Dam? We've got some big problems, folks. Now, additionally, I'm pretty sure that all of this flood water coming out of Yellowstone, folks, we have all of the snow, which is not melted. Now it's melting and melting fast. On top of that, they've had rains and snow and everything else falling, and they've got massive, massive flooding and destruction in Yellowstone. Now, if I understand how the rivers work, that area feeds into and down into the Colorado River. I don't know where else it could go. I don't think it goes into the Great Salt Lake. But anyways, there's a lot of water and snow getting ready to melt. Hopefully, folks, it can refill everything. But we've got some problems. Corruption, racketeering, lies. They want us hurt. You see, Lake Havasu is just about full, but Lake Mead is 183 feet low. Now, understand this with pressure, water, and hydroelectric power. The difference between the top, the water level, and where the hydroelectric turbines are at, the greater that distance is, the more power they get per gallon of water that rushes through. So if Lake Mead at the Hoover Dam is 183 feet low, the water is not falling very far, is it? It's not falling very far at all. So for every gallon of water at the current level, you're getting a significant decrease in power creation. What are they doing around the country? Let's see. They're shutting down a few more nuclear power plants. Solar and wind isn't working so well. They're saying coal is bad. Let's shut them down. Natural gas, it pollutes half as much as coal, so it's still evil. We're going to have rolling blackouts. We're going to have brownouts. We're going to have problems. There's no way around it, folks. There's just no way around it. They're doing this in purpose. It's happening on purpose. What is the purpose? What is the agenda? To get you more broke. That's right, to break you monetarily, financially, if you will. To break you spiritually as an American. They want to take you and make you hungry, scared, sick, so that you demand from government, do something, right? That's just it. The Hegelian dialect at work. That's what they want. That's exactly what they want. They want you begging for them to do something. And their solution, folks, to the problems they created is to always take your rights. Yeah, always to take your rights and then offer you something that in the end is going to be worse for you than the original problem. right? They want to take your rights, the Second Amendment, and then rather than be hungry, you're going to be hunted by a bunch of left-wing purge advocates who want to kill everyone who doesn't agree with them. Oh my God, I tell you. Uman steps in and says, happy birthday to Nancy Keg. Congratulations on the completion of another trip around the sun. Indeed, happy birthday there, Nancy. Wow. Absolutely wow. Folks, every day I wake up and I marvel at this life. And then, I find ways to remain optimistic, knowing that there is good in the world and that a few more trips around the sun, and hopefully we have some answers. Now, we got Oregon Patriot checks in and says, hey, John, what do you think about the mass cattle deaths? 10,000 because of the heat? I'm not buying it. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. That's what we do here, folks. That's what we do here. We prepare. They are lying to us. What have they done? Swine flu, get rid of the pork. Oh my God, we have avian bird flu. Kill the chickens. Oh my gosh, we burned down a massive egg producing place. Good golly. And now we have 10,000 head of cattle have died because of heat. Folks, if you've ever been in California or Nevada or Arizona or New Mexico and seen cows, and trust me, there's a lot of them, you would go, man, it must be hard being a cow standing around in the sun in 100-degree weather all day long. Folks, they're cows. That's what they do. They don't just die. They don't go 80, 90, 90, 95, 99, 100, and die. No. Like every other animal, they drink water and they mitigate the heat. They go to shade. They stand still so they're not burning energy, creating heat in their body. They sweat, whatever. They're cows. They can live in the most extreme environment. Cows, big, fat, bumbly hamburgers, on hooves, can be driven in a cattle drive in the heat of summer, miles and miles, of course, at the behest of cowboys and cow dogs, right? Getting driven. They can go a long way, folks, without water. They're not camels in the way we go. A camel can live for weeks without water. I don't think any camel likes that. I don't think cows like 100-degree weather and more, but they can survive it. Once again, whether or not it's 10,000 cows or just 1,000 or just 100, and they got a lot of pictures of it, they're trying to scare us. They're trying to convince you, ruh-roh, higher prices, I guess that's why. $10,000 cows will feed 20,000 people for 1 year. 10,000 cows will feed 20,000 people, 20,000 families, I should say, a year. If every family had 5 people, that's 100,000. 10,000 cows will feed 100,000 people a year. Even if it's 200,000, even if 10,000 cows will feed 1 million people a year, and it won't. Why is our food prices skyrocketing? Unbelievable. This is a trick. It's a sham. It's a scam. And it's part of the fear porn that government, environmentalists, climate screwballs are ramming down our throat. That's what's going on here, folks. That's what is going on. I've got some stuff I want to talk about. I got some more stuff I want to get into. Jolene, should I talk about my stuff or do we have some more stuff? Where are we going with this show? This is our inaugural Subscribe Star. And look at that. It is Cottage Farm with a question. And she says, do you think future normal medications like blood thinners and pancreatic medicines, etc., will have this crap in it or a chip? Okay. What she's referring to with the chip is nanobots and microchip technology that allows us to be tracked, controlled, and then also the mRNA compounds. Here's my thinking on this. I think it is very possible that future medicines could have one or the other, or in order to get medicine in the future, you have to agree to take their crap. If there has ever been a time to make sure you're healthy as possible, it would be now. If there was ever a time to discover alternative therapies, cures, treatments, rather than take their pharmaceutical crap, the time is now, right? Because I don't trust them. I don't. When I sit, I'll put on regular commercial TV, folks, just to see the commercials. And the number of pharmaceutical cures or treatments that are out there is astounding. And then you hear all of the bad things these drugs will do to you. It's like, you know what? I'd rather deal with some itchy skin than put up with bleeding out my eyes and having sudden heart attack and hair falling out and hair growing out the bottom of my feet or whatever the other problems are, right? Right? You could get a parasitic infection from taking this drug. I'm like, they're putting parasites in the drug? How is it that all of a sudden my body can't fight off parasites and I'll get a parasitic infection if I take this stupid pharmaceutical? I'll tell you what, I'll deal with dry eyes before I take something that makes my eyes chronically dry or makes my eyes fall out of my head or makes my balls fall off, right? It's incredible. I don't trust these people, not anymore, right? Not anymore. They've lost all credibility with Cerveza Bug and the Jim Jones juice and their political, financial alignments in government. Absolutely disgusting is what I call it. Unbelievable. Okay. "40-year-old British Columbia man has been diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome. And guess what? He's been awarded compensation because it's being called a Jim Jones juice injury. That's right, folks. They're starting to have to pay money to people who have been injured for doing what Dr. F said to do. And that was for you, Jolene. It's coming to your phone. Okay. This guy's been injured. He's being awarded compensation. Thank you. And here's how I take it. Now, remember, on the Prepared Mind channel, the premium site, you guys get to get a little bit of bonus out of me, right? You get to hear everything before everyone else. It is, bam, as soon as it comes out, next broadcast, we're on it. And if it's an emergency, I'll just go live for the world. In an emergency, a nuke goes off or attacked, aliens, whatever, I'll just go live. But get this, folks. Rather than look at this from people are going to get paid, right? I think this is the new way. Imagine the future. Imagine the future. This guy's getting money for taking the Jim Jones juice, but maybe the euthanasiasts, the people who want us all dead, just turn around and go, hey, look, we want to experiment on you guys and we'll pay you for it, right? They could say, who wants to die for your family? So the family gets a big compensation, big money. Who wants to just die, right? Population reduction strategy. Folks, Gil Bates and other euthanasia proponents want population reduction. It's right there on the Georgia Guidestones. They want to get the population down to 500 million people. That's not just North America or Europe. It's the whole planet. Folks, there's more than twice that in India alone. There's more than twice that in China, almost 3 times that in China. They want to reduce us that much. Why not just offer free money to people to voluntarily die? How many people out there are like, this life sucks, I don't want to have anything to do with it, right? Okay, get the fuck out of here. I hate America. Good, get the fuck out of here, right? How many idiots out there, folks, are already worthless? They're a total drag on the system. They don't produce anything, and all they do is eat food and screw up and make, crime and everything else, right? Why not just pay them off? Why not just say, hey, look, you go ahead. We're going to experiment on you medically. You get to die, and your family will get some money for it, right? This will make Bill Gates happy. This will make the euthanasiasts happy. This will make the Georgia Guidestones happy. This will make the Great Reset, Davos douches happy. Everyone's happy. And your family gets money. And you, the worthless idiot who doesn't know what life is about, you could just go away and not be bothered with any of this anymore, right? After all, life sucks, right? I mean, here's the commercial. Here's the commercial. Pay attention. Hey, Mr. T, here's a commercial, right? Why not just die? Get money for your family. After all, life sucks, doesn't it? And things are expensive. So do your part and kick the bucket for some bucks. You know, how many idiots would line up for that? I mean, there's so many people with mental health issues. I bet they would have lines around the block, right? We're going to give half to you to go have a great time inside of our little building over here where you give us our own money back so you can have a good time, right? And then we'll just kill you. And your family get the other half of the money. Unbelievable, folks. Does that sound screwy or does that sound like a real potential? That could be part of their Hunger Games plan, right? Unfreaking believable. I sure hope all of you tell everyone, get to Subscribe Star right there, The Prepared Mind. Subscribe Star, do it now, right? Get people to come here, sign up, $2 a month, 7 cents a day, 7 pennies. We take the old pennies or the new shiny ones. We don't care. We need all we can, though, folks, to keep this network alive. That's right. We're now to the begathon portion of the show. Thank you to everybody, really, for running back over here and making sure that premium, uncensored content makes its way. Come to Subscribe Star, folks, and get news articles, video links, information on what the hell is happening that the mainstream media won't tell you, that big tech is silencing and just punishing people for having. But we still get it out. We're getting it out there. We want to blow it out there. There's so much going on. Jolene has the links. She's going to put them right here on subscribestar.com at The Prepared Mind. We're going to get back on that information train, folks. It's an information war. If you're not armed with knowledge, you're disarmed. The First Amendment, the right to free speech, the right to practice your religion, to live your life the way you want. It wasn't granted by the Constitution. It was established that the government shall not interfere with our rights, our inalienable rights. And I want to thank you, folks, for supporting our ability to make sure that's understood and that people know shit has hit the fan and it's time to do something about it. Prep to action. Chance favors the prepared mind. Aren't you glad you are a prepper? Semper Fi. God bless America.
Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.